In this video we're diving deep into Princess Beatrice's rare and deeply personal revelations about welcoming her second daughter Athena into the world, exploring the profound emotional journey of royal motherhood and the surprising loneliness that can accompany one of life's most celebrated moments. So if you're fascinated by the real stories behind the palace walls and want to understand the human side of royalty, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like button if you appreciate authentic royal content, and drop a comment below sharing your own thoughts on motherhood and the pressures of raising children in the public eye, because your engagement helps this channel grow and brings us closer as a community passionate about understanding the truth behind the headlines. The world of royalty has always been shrouded in mystique and carefully curated public appearances, but every so often a member of the royal family pulls back the velvet curtain to reveal the raw and unfiltered reality of their lives. And that's exactly what Princess Beatrice has done with her recent candid admission about the birth of her second daughter Athena Elizabeth Mapoli-Motzi. When the granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth II opened up about her experience, she didn't deliver the polished fairy tale narrative that many might expect from someone in her position. Instead, she shared something far more valuable and relatable, admitting that despite being surrounded by privilege and support, the experience of bringing a second child into the world left her feeling profoundly isolated in ways she never anticipated. Princess Beatrice, who married property developer Edoardo Mapoli-Motzi in an intimate ceremony during the pandemic, has always maintained a relatively low profile compared to some of her royal cousins, choosing to balance her royal duties with a career in business and technology while raising her family away from the most intense media spotlight. Her first experience of motherhood came with the birth of her daughter Sienna Elizabeth in September 2021, an event that brought immense joy to the York family and marked Beatrice's entry into the complex world of parenting. However, it was the arrival of her second daughter Athena that prompted the princess to speak more openly about the emotional complexities that accompany expanding a family, revealing truths that resonate far beyond palace walls and connect with parents across every social stratum. The statement that you can feel incredibly alone struck a chord with countless mothers and fathers who have navigated the paradox of feeling isolated even when surrounded by people who love and support them. Beatrice's honesty about this aspect of her postpartum experience highlights a universal truth that transcends wealth, status, and circumstance: the reality that bringing a new life into the world while caring for existing children can create a unique form of emotional vulnerability that catches many parents off guard. The princess didn't elaborate extensively on every detail of her experience, but her willingness to acknowledge this feeling represents a significant departure from the traditional royal approach of presenting only the most polished version of family life to the public. What makes Princess Beatrice's admission particularly poignant is the context in which it exists within the broader royal family narrative. The House of Windsor has experienced its share of public discussions about mental health and emotional well-being in recent years, with various members speaking out about their struggles with everything from anxiety to the pressures of constant public scrutiny. The Duchess of Sussex Meghan Markle spoke openly about her mental health challenges during her time as a working royal. Prince Harry has been vocal about his journey through grief and therapy, and the Princess of Wales Catherine has championed mental health causes throughout her time in the public eye. Princess Beatrice's contribution to this evolving conversation adds another layer to our understanding of how even those born into extraordinary circumstances face the same fundamental human challenges as everyone else. The experience of second-time motherhood carries its own unique set of challenges that differ significantly from welcoming a first child. While first-time parents navigate everything for the first time with a steep learning curve and intense focus on a single child, second-time parents must balance the needs of a newborn with the demands of an older sibling who has their own emotional needs during this major family transition. Princess Beatrice was already a stepmother to Edoardo's son Christopher Wolfe, known as Wolfie, from his previous relationship, which means Athena's arrival made her a mother figure to 3 children across different age ranges and developmental stages. The logistics alone of managing multiple children's schedules, needs, and emotions would be overwhelming for anyone, regardless of how much domestic help might be available, and the emotional labor of ensuring each child feels seen, valued, and secure during such a transformative time cannot be delegated or outsourced. The loneliness that Princess Beatrice described likely stems from multiple sources that compound one another in the postpartum period. There's the physical isolation that comes with the intense demands of caring for a newborn who requires feeding every few hours day and night, leaving little time or energy for maintaining the social connections that typically sustain us during challenging periods. There's the emotional isolation that occurs when you're processing profound feelings and experiences that others around you may not fully understand even if they desperately want to support you. There's the unique isolation of being a public figure whose every appearance is scrutinized and photographed, making it difficult to be vulnerable or seek help in the same ways that others might. And there's the isolation that comes from the gap between how you think you should feel during what's supposed to be a joyful time and how you actually feel when the reality is more complicated than the narrative you've been given. The royal family has always operated under intense pressure to present a perfect facade to the public, with generations of training focused on maintaining composure, dignity, and an air of effortless grace regardless of what's happening behind closed doors. Princess Beatrice grew up watching her mother Sarah Ferguson navigate brutal media scrutiny and public criticism that would have broken many people. She witnessed the tragedy of her grandmother Princess Diana's death and the media circus that surrounded it, and she's experienced her own share of unkind commentary about everything from her appearance to her fashion choices throughout her life. Against this backdrop, choosing to speak honestly about feeling alone during such a vulnerable time represents an act of courage that shouldn't be underestimated, because it requires setting aside the protective armor that has been carefully constructed over decades and allowing the world to see your humanity. The timing of Princess Beatrice's admission is also significant as society continues to grapple with how we support parents, particularly mothers, during the postpartum period and beyond. Research has consistently shown that postnatal depression and anxiety affect a substantial percentage of new mothers, with some studies suggesting that up to 1 in 5 women experience these conditions, yet stigma and silence continue to prevent many from seeking help or even acknowledging their struggles. When someone with Princess Beatrice's platform speaks openly about the difficult aspects of new motherhood, it helps normalize these experiences and creates space for others to share their own stories without shame. The ripple effects of this kind of honesty extend far beyond the immediate conversation, potentially encouraging other mothers to reach out for support they desperately need but have been too afraid or ashamed to request. Princess Beatrice's relationship with her sister Princess Eugenie has always been described as exceptionally close, with the two sisters supporting each other through the various challenges of growing up in the public eye while navigating complicated family dynamics. Eugenie herself is a mother to 2 sons, August and Ernest, which means both sisters have been experiencing the journey of motherhood in parallel, sharing the joys and struggles that come with raising young children. This sisterly bond likely provides some comfort and understanding, but it's also worth noting that even the closest relationships cannot completely erase the fundamental loneliness that can accompany major life transitions, because some aspects of our experience remain internal and incommunicable no matter how much we love the people around us. The choice to name her daughter Athena Elizabeth carries its own significance, with Athena being the Greek goddess of wisdom, courage and warfare, while Elizabeth honors both her late grandmother Queen Elizabeth II and pays tribute to the strong women who have shaped the royal family's modern history. These naming choices reflect a desire to connect her daughter to powerful female archetypes and family legacy, while also giving her a distinctive identity that sets her apart from the more traditional royal naming conventions. As Athena grows up, she'll carry this name that speaks to strength, intelligence and the weight of family history, while her mother works to ensure that she also has the freedom to forge her own path. The broader implications of Princess Beatrice's honesty extend into conversations about how we as a society value and support parents during the crucial early years of child rearing. Despite all the progress made in understanding postpartum mental health and the importance of parental support, systems remain inadequate for many families, with new parents often feeling abandoned by medical systems that provide intensive care during pregnancy and delivery but minimal follow-up support afterward. The expectation that parents should bounce back quickly, resume normal activities and present a picture of blissful adjustment creates pressure that serves no one and actively harms those who are struggling. When public figures use their platforms to challenge these unrealistic expectations, they contribute to a cultural shift that could ultimately lead to better systems and more compassionate approaches to supporting families. Looking at Princess Beatrice's journey from young royal to working professional to mother reveals someone who has consistently tried to carve out her own space within the constraints of her position, maintaining a career in technology and business while fulfilling royal obligations and now raising a blended family with her husband. This balancing act requires constant negotiation between public duty and private life, between maintaining appropriate boundaries and meeting expectations, between honoring tradition and forging new paths. Her willingness to speak about the harder aspects of this journey suggests a maturity and self-awareness that comes from years of navigating complex circumstances and recognizing that authenticity, even when it's uncomfortable, often serves a greater good than maintaining a perfect facade. The response to Princess Beatrice's admission has been overwhelmingly positive, with parents from all walks of life expressing gratitude for her honesty and sharing their own experiences of postpartum loneliness and the challenges of expanding their families. This groundswell of connection and shared experience demonstrates the hunger people have for real conversations about parenthood that move beyond the highlight reel and acknowledge the full spectrum of emotions that accompany bringing new life into the world. Social media has amplified these conversations, allowing people who might never cross paths in their daily lives to find community and solidarity around shared struggles, creating networks of support that didn't exist in previous generations. As Princess Beatrice continues her journey as a mother to Sienna and Athena while co-parenting Wolfie with her husband, she's helping to redefine what it means to be a modern royal mother, combining the ceremonial aspects of her position with a commitment to authenticity and emotional honesty that feels refreshingly current. Her children will grow up in a world that's very different from the one she inherited, with social media, constant connectivity, and evolving expectations around transparency and accessibility, creating new challenges and opportunities for the next generation of royals. How she navigates these waters while maintaining her own well-being and protecting her children's privacy will be watched with interest by royal watchers and everyday parents alike. The question we're left with as Princess Beatrice's story continues to unfold is whether her honesty will inspire more members of the royal family and other public figures to speak openly about their struggles, creating a cultural shift toward greater authenticity and support for parents everywhere, or whether the traditional pressures toward privacy and perfection will ultimately prevail. If you found Princess Beatrice's honesty as refreshing and important as we did, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you never miss our coverage of the real stories behind royal headlines. Hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone who would appreciate this perspective, and let us know in the comments below, have you ever experienced the kind of loneliness Princess Beatrice described during a major life transition, and what helped you through it?